Cool.
Hey everybody, this is Doc Mack from the Galloping Ghost Arcade out in Brookfield, Illinois. It is Wednesday, November 25th, 2015. And I am here with our Gamer of the Year, Pete Hahn.
Hello. How you doing, everyone?
And this is our the start of our first live podcast.
Yep. I want to see how this goes. See if we can get, timely information. See what people are talking about, what they want to hear, and we can always do the Facebook questions if you can't make it to the live stream. But this way you can interact. It's easier than posting a question and hoping we get to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
So first off, thanks to everybody for tuning in, and thanks to everybody who's been listening to our podcasts, and we really appreciate that. And been cool getting all the feedback and everything. Everybody really seems to be liking them. So
yeah, still a lot
Thank you.
A lot of people listening still. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. And we have them on iTunes now.
We are on iTunes now. Yeah, I try to link the iTunes page after it gets updated. It takes a little bit longer to make it to iTunes. We have a RSS feed that I can put it to immediately after it's on YouTube, but then iTunes takes, I don't know, like 6 hours usually before that shows up on there. But if you have like Android apps like Podomatic, it shows up on there a little more quickly. So I found myself on there. Cool. Want to do scoring, or what do you want to do first?
Sure.
Or events, or what's going on?
I'm asking why we're on the little screen.
Because we're not the news, right? Are we the news? I don't know.
This is how we have it set up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why not Zune? Long live Zune.
I don't know. Oh, that's the Microsoft little iPod thing, right?
Yes.
I remember those. Cool. Artifacts of yonder.
Yes. Well, I guess let's jump right in with scoring. We've had, it's just been a lot of scores going in lately.
Yeah, the scoreboard, the last scores are only going back like 3 days because we had so many entries lately.
Yes.
I remember taking a snapshot earlier. So I thought this might happen, but I left my snapshot at home on my computer at home. But there are a ton of scores that aren't on here that we didn't talk about. There that we're not going to see on the most recent scores, such as Stephen Lucas's bunch of his scores he did at the end of last week.
Yes.
So thanks for coming out. I believe he's coming out from Springfield, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. Great having him out. It's great to see him get so into scoring.
Yeah.
And he put up like how many? I know he put up several world records.
Yeah. He upped his Blood Brothers world record, and then he put a new world record up on Hammer Away, and then he set a new world record that was beaten on King of the Monsters.
Yes.
He also upped his Spider-Man world record. So I think those are his world records.
Yeah, King of the Monsters 2.
Yeah.
And
Spider-Man.
And he put up a Battletoads.
Oh, and the Battletoads one, yeah. The Battletoads one and King of the Monsters ones were beaten kind of quickly, but they were kind of introductory scores. People just haven't had time to put scores on those yet. So, Dog fighting for scores. I like it. Yeah, that's a good term for it. So that all happened just a few days after Raul Rosso did heavy damage in Metal Slug.
Yes, he was in from. Was he in from Argentina?
Argentina, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Again, I said it the week before. It's great that players travel in, and it's so appreciated and means so much that just that people are willing to travel to come to this arcade, and they plan their vacations around it, and it's that it means a lot. Like it's it's amazing that people enjoy the place that much.
Yeah.
And even this last what was that, Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Crow.
Yeah.
Ghost for life.
Yeah, we had a visit from him. He's out in Texas, but wanted to spend his birthday with us. So came out. We had pizza, cake, and had a great time playing games all Monday night.
Bunch of his friends and family were here, and Philip Ahn, who was
Brian Cullen came out too.
Brian Cullen was here as well.
Yeah.
Philip Ahn, the Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat 2, and Brian Cullen, creator of Rampage, Sarge, Xenophobe.
Yep.
So many amazing games. It was great talking with both of them. It's me and Brian have been talking quite a bit on a lot of different subjects, and it's always a great time.
Yeah.
So and great catching up with Jason and
shout out to Jason.
Yes. A lot of fun talking with him and reminiscent of old times when we'd be here until 4 a.m. just chatting away.
Yep.
So really cool.
Yeah. So those two players, Raul and Steven, put up a ton of scores that won't show up on this scoreboard, but on this scoreboard we still have a lot of great scores. Let's start all the way back. Steven Lucas has some on here because I didn't put in these scores until I had watched his videos, so he has some on the most recent board. Actually, I can show everyone what I'm looking at. Give me 1 second here. Technology. Add screen capture. Alright.
So these are the current scoreboard from Orcade.
And made the date too big there. That's alright. So now you guys can see what we're looking at. But yeah, there was a bunch of scores there from Sean. It looks like he's just trying a bunch of different stuff out. I know he's been loving Assault lately too, like everyone. Everyone's been on Assault lately.
Yeah, it's such a cool game. So happy that we got that one in. That one was requested several times, and then really once we were able to get the original sticks back on it, it's really blown up. Like
everyone's putting scores in on it.
Haruza's been playing it. I've been playing it.
James has been.
James is back playing it.
Steven Lucas had a good
Steven
score.
Lucas had a very good score.
Yep. So I mean that game is in the back in the new area in the center. I wish I could play it. Like everyone seems to enjoy it, and it's like it looks awesome. I can't. I get dizzy playing it. It's one of those things. There's certain games I can't play. I'm really prone to like motion sickness on certain games, and that's one of them. That
is the way it rotates is very unusual.
Yeah.
But such a great game.
Yeah.
That whole back area, Jeremy of Prince Arcades was here recently, and he took some pictures of that back row. And that back row that we added from the last expansion is just such a killer collection of games in itself.
Yeah, it's like all of them are almost all dedicated. Like that.
They're all dedicated, and they're all like
rare.
They're all super rare,
Yeah.
like just top drawer titles, like 720, Congo Bongo,
Yeah.
Cosmic Cruiser, Wacko, Bubbles, Assault, Us versus Them, Blast. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
What a great row.
Yeah. What else was back there? Oh, Bubbles, Interstellar.
Interstellar's
That's right.
back there.
Crater Raiders back there. Yeah.
Crater Raiders back
Everyone's
there.
been on that
Slam
one too.
Masters, Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah. Cool. Checking the stream chat here. So it looks like we also had. Oh, is that a new house high, that Zookeeper score for Jeff Lucas? Actually, that might be. No, Tim Vermeulen might have the house high on that.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for Orcade to. We're not going to show the power rankings. Stephen Lucas had asked about that. Now that we're talking about scoring, we're not going to show them because we're kind of revamping them. The latest time we went over it, we're making world records count for more. And then we also want to factor in some way either games completed, tokens, or tokens average. So we want to figure out a way to incorporate all those things into a power ranking that encompasses everything. Because right now it's kind of just a raw number, but it doesn't figure like how many games you've completed and how many tokens you have, which kind of tells you like your mastery of many games, which we think should count for something because it's important.
For sure.
So we will be working on those power rankings, but hopefully we can have it integrated with Orcade, and hopefully maybe they can even host it on Orcade at some point. That'd be really cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I've been talking with David Hernley, and there's a lot of updates on the Orcade site in the works. But
that House High one I'm looking forward to.
There's a lot of them. There's the House High. There's the Game of the Week.
Well, that's right.
With a tournament behind it.
The randomly generated game tournament.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that'll be great. It's time consuming, and hopefully it'll all be going up soon.
Cool. The then just Monday also at Jason's party, we had a bunch of scores. Mozzie's had a trifecta.
Yes.
So that was a great night for him. He upped the house high on kicks, and he
was over on that for a bit.
Yeah,
it was
more than an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Him and James were going back and forth, taking turns. It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
they were dogfighting. And before that, he was on Circus Charlie with Jamie, and he took the house high on Circus Charlie too.
Yeah,
and then he beat his own house high in Anteater. So should that count as a trifecta if you beat your own score? I don't know about that. Might be a fraudulent house high or a fraudulent trifecta.
It's a huge thing, like the Anteater. Like if you have the score, I don't know. It's one of those things where
I could barely beat my own scores. Get a trifecta anytime I want. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, like there's certain games. Like I know I could up 3 of my scores easily anytime I wanted.
Yeah, like Narc and Assault and King of the Monsters.
Sure.
You could just do those 3.
Yeah.
Now you got a trifecta.
Yeah. Like so many of the scores. Like I feel a lot of my scores to me are. There's a lot of room for growth on those scores. Like
for sure.
There's they can be improved upon, and most of the time it's just you get pulled away. And there's definitely some that are like Freeze right now. That score's getting difficult to beat. It's not just like you play 1 or 2 games and
you got a new high.
Right. It's definitely everything has to go your way if you're going to get a score in that.
Yeah, I see a lot of the regulars on that a lot, so it's good that people are getting to that one. Jeremiah put a score up on that one too.
Yeah, Jeremiah's been playing it a little bit, and I saw Mozzie's and Tibbetts were back on it on Monday, so it's a really cool game.
We had a question in the stream chat. Any idea when the next swap meet will be? We can't exactly answer that yet because we can't do it before our expansion is completed. We only have access to about half of our office area, so we have no space to do a swap meet currently. So when we can do one, we will do one. Trust me.
Yes.
I have stuff I want to sell.
There's events that we want to run, and it's just like we just have to hold off on them just a little bit. And everybody's been asking us for when's the next Shang Tsung's fight night. And I had Daniel Pacino was out here, and Philip Ahn was out here, and they're super hyped to do it. And it's just we want to do it right. We don't want it to be overly crowded. And last one we had 586 people show up.
It was a crazy day at the arcade floor, and
so
we had the tournaments going on too, like on both sides. So
yeah,
it was nuts.
Yeah.
So we got a sidetrack there. Back to scoring for a little bit. So you ended up taking a couple of scores that were set by Steven, Battletoads and then King of the Monsters. So you have a couple house highs on those, right? Or King of the Monsters is a world record, right?
King of the Monsters 1 and King of the Monsters 2 are both the world records.
Okay, and you have both of those?
Yes.
Okay. Cool, because I know Jamie had that for a little bit, right? Briefly.
I think I took it back and then...
Oh, you took it back Saturday, then Jamie beat it Monday, and then you took it back yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what it was, okay. And then Steve is mentioning Gradius 3 was the other game that Eddie had beaten.
Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie put up a great score in that game. I'm not sure how far he got. I got to ask him, but he might have beaten the third stage, which is like holding everyone up. Everyone's like getting stuck in the third stage, so he was at 169, a little under 170, which is awesome because the previous scores were all like 133, 135. So congratulations to Eddie. It's good to see everyone getting into scoring, and I know he enjoys the game despite the finger cramps it gives people.
Yeah.
So it's a button masher.
It is. Very cool game, though.
Yep. All right. What else do we have?
So
more Circus Charlie. Jamie put up a score on that too. That was almost near the house high at the time.
I think he actually said he beat the house high. I think he had beat Sean Quigley's score.
Oh,
but it was after Mossie's already took it.
Oh, okay. So
I know those three. Like Circus Charlie's such a cool game, and we picked all that up. Out in Michigan, we did when we got that in. Like everybody was all into it, but we got so many games from that batch that.
What else came with that batch? There was a lot.
There was a lot. Like
there was
we
good
got
games too.
Circus Charlie. We got the Pit.
Mm-hmm. Did Phoenix come with that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Phoenix was in there.
There's a ton of stuff. Yeah.
That was like 720 showed up then. Lunar Lander showed up then.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of great games, and it was more like it's great to see everybody going back to that stuff after a while. So Circus Charlie, Sean Quigley held that for a while.
Yeah, since the spring, I think.
Yeah, and now I'm sure he'll
make another run for it.
Yeah, he really digs that game, so I'm sure he'll be back on it and playing it again. So we'll see if he can take it.
Yeah. Jeremiah is trolling us, saying, "Is it true that Jeremiah is really the best at the arcade?" Well, that depends. There's a card that we have up front now that if you want to get a good score in a game, it says "I am the best," and you just put it on whatever game you're playing, and you'll have the best score you've ever had on that game. I'm convinced it worked. It worked on Monday.
I have not tried that.
Okay, you should try it. You should try it on Assault. Wait, you already have the high, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you already have the best score.
Assault. I'm anxious to get back on that one, and
I think that score is going to keep going up and up.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's literally on Monday I played 2 games.
Okay, still got it.
And it was my first game. I got interrupted on my first game by a customer, so I had to go.
Mm-hmm.
But
darn customers.
but yeah, there's a lot of room in that game. Yeah. There's.
Do you foresee any player here challenging the world record soon? Like 700 and something thousand?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's
a John McAllister world record, so it's world class. You know?
Yeah. It's. I'm not doing. I know there's a trick where if you destroy the enemies, at the countdown, at the countdown clock, that gives you the full bonus time.
Right.
Which is pretty substantial.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not at that point yet. Like I'm finding new places to get extra points and stuff. But level 2, there's a good amount of points in level 2.
Cool.
So, but those, it's a great game. It seems to be, for me, normally when I play a game, I don't remember or learn a lot of things. It's just I'm just playing just on the fly playing.
Just all improvisation.
Yeah. It's but that one seems to be sticking with me a little bit.
That's good.
We'll see.
Yep. There's a couple of scores that didn't make it on there. I know. I had a house high on Marvel vs. Capcom. That was just a couple days ago, and then I increased my Marvel vs. Capcom. That one's technically a world record. It's over 2 million now. So I know.
How many world records do you have now?
I had 30. I'm down to 29 because I lost Gradius when Steven was in town. But Orcade says I have 29 now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yep. Thanks.
That's the most of anyone at GGA, right?
Yeah. You have the second most with like 26, I think.
Awesome.
So 1 and 2 right here. Jeremiah is gonna give us crap for that. Give me crap for that at least. Ghosty Devil is asking for 80s montage music playing through the arcade.
No.
How about some Foreigner?
No.
It's a good 80s band, right?
Nope.
No? Okay. Alright, now that we got that out of the way. Let's see, what else do we have? I think that's all for scoring. Oh, Haruza put up an Alien Syndrome score. We got that new cabinet and he immediately wanted to play it.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about that. There's so many cabinets in the arcade that, I love when we have games in the original cabinets. And I say this all the time, that it's most important that people get to play the games, but we want to have the original cabinets when we can.
Mm-hmm.
So often we have, we get the board and then we do a conversion cabinet. For Alien Syndrome, I remember we picked up the board from an eBay auction, and you don't see the board too often. On the cheap side, you'll find the board for $100. On the expensive side, you'll find it for like $200.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to play that game all the time, and they had it on the Master System, and I played it a ton. And
it was a good conversion?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, cool.
It was.
They had good conversions on that system.
Master System was awesome.
Yeah.
I might have played it once in the arcade. think Haunted Trails had it. But the cabinet that it has it's a cool, standard-looking cabinet. But the big thing about it was that it has this purple alien, three-eyed alien on the top. And that's really what made the original cabinet so unbelievably cool.
It's like lit up too.
It is. I didn't even know it was supposed to be lit up.
Yeah. Looks awesome.
I saw the board in the alien topper on eBay for $850 recently.
Wow.
And it sold. Like, it just instantly sold. And if you go on websites like KLOV, like, there's so many people that talk about the alien topper, and people just covet that thing. Mm-hmm. So I forget where I even. Oh, it was on KLOV. Somebody was selling a Clax cabinet, and okay. I happened to click on it, and it was a conversion Clax cabinet done in the Alien Syndrome cabinet. So they converted an Alien Syndrome to be Clax.
But they left the alien on it?
The topper was on it.
Oh, man. Okay.
And yeah. And the price, incredibly cheap. Mm-hmm. Great price. And so we had it shipped out, and price-wise, you couldn't beat it. And Seth spent a good chunk of yesterday swapping our board into the new cabinet, and It's on the floor now. It just looks awesome.
Cool. Any other cabinet upgrades that we should talk about, as long as we're talking about cabinet upgrades?
We have several coming up.
Yeah.
We have a dedicated Superman cabinet that will be splitting up our Batman Superman cabinet.
So Batman will no longer be in there?
Batman will no longer be in the there's our current cabinet that we have Batman and Superman in is a Gottlieb cabinet. Mm-hmm. And we need to put Three Stooges in that.
Okay.
Because we have the Three Stooges board.
Right.
So we'll have Three Stooges going in that. Batman will go into a new cabinet, and then Superman we have in a new dedicated cabinet.
Cool. I know Sean Quigley's looking forward to that Three Stooges.
Yeah, there's a lot of people looking forward to Three Stooges. It's such a cool game. Jeff Lee worked on that. Guy who created Q*bert. He's here all the time. Huge shout-outs to Jeff. Sam Russo worked on that as well, who was here at our last Developers Day. Mm-hmm. Or our first Developers Day.
Tim, Batman, as far as what I've heard from Doc, is it never had a dedicated cabinet. It was just a kit, right?
Yes, it supposedly was only sold as a kit, mm-hmm. and supposedly there was only about 1,000 of them made.
Okay.
So pretty rare game. I for the longest time could have sworn there was a Batman cabinet, mm-hmm. But it's so hard to say. It would have been. I wish there was so much. It's unfortunate the lack of documentation that's out there on what came in original cabinets, and we get. I've heard people complain about how we have so many conversion cabinets here.
Yeah,
and
it's a common.
It's like I don't know if people just don't know, but like. So many of the games in the 90s just came as kits. Like, they just didn't have original cabinets, and you were just supposed to... It's just like the Alien Syndrome cabinet. Like, somebody converted that.
Right.
Like...
We reconverted it back.
We converted it back, but it's part of the nature of arcades. It's like what happens when your board goes bad, and you literally... There's not a replacement processor, or... You can't get the chip or anything, and what are you supposed to do with the cabinet?
New board. Yeah.
Different board, yeah. You make it something that somebody can enjoy.
Yeah, it baffles me that people don't get it. Like, that you have, there's other things in this world that work that way. Like, your engine dies in your car, you don't have to get a whole new car.
Right.
Just replace the engine,
right.
You know?
And I get there's the collector scene that, like, the collectors want that in original stuff, and we do too. Like,
It'd be nice to have, yeah.
Right, but... If it's the difference of not having a game, like I know James White played so much Alien Syndrome when we got it. Like, I played a ton of it, and it was just in some random cabinet we had. Mm-hmm. Didn't make the game not fun,
Right.
It was
Still plays, yeah.
Played awesome.
Yeah.
But to each their own,
Mm-hmm.
and we're happy that when we are able to get stuff in the original cabinets. That's what we try to do.
For sure.
And that's why I was so excited to get that Alien Syndrome cabinet.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It makes me want to play the game. I almost included an American Horror scoring too. Like it's been pretty reliable, but I didn't want to have games in it because that one had a board issue for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I left it off this year, maybe next year.
Cool.
We have some Facebook questions. Tim asked if we had gone over those yet, and we have not. So we can get to those. Dan Icavelli.
Shout out to Dan Icavelli.
Oh, he just kind of gave a shout out. He said he'd be able to tune in and watch it, so that's good.
Hopefully he's watching.
Stephen Lucas had a few questions. One of them was about the power rankings. We kind of already went over that, but one of his other questions on games placed on the arcade floor that are in non-working condition, given the tight space before the next expansion. If a game is going to be or has been down a long time, like Darius, Star Trek, or Mega Race, how do you decide between keeping it there or sending it into the vault, garage, or restore room and putting the working game in its place? It just kind of depends on what we have space for.
Yeah, like when we opened with 130 working games, but the floor probably had 250 games on it.
Okay.
And it was all the stuff that wasn't working, and it was just kind of like I went through the rows and we would get stuff working, like Darius and Star Trek and Marble Madness and Galaxy Force, and
there's one other one that's like a constant.
Well, those four have never been added to the arcade floor.
And they're not on arcade either.
They're not on arcade. They're not part of our working games list.
Yeah, we don't count that toward our 482 now.
481. 481.
Okay.
Those have never been officially released to the floor.
Okay.
There's stuff that we are actively working on fixing, but we just haven't gotten. They're just not 100% yet. I probably those are all ones that I really want to get working. So rather than put something else in its place, and then those games wouldn't be able to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of have to use them as placeholders just
right.
to make sure that they do go up.
Yeah.
Also, once it goes into storage or into the vaults, then it's
in there.
It's in there. It's tough to get something out of the vaults once it goes in.
Okay.
Like Darius, I can't wait to get Darius up and running. I've had a huge board issue on it for the longest time. Same thing with Star Trek. Same thing with Marble Madness. And Galaxy Force. Like Galaxy Force, can't wait to get that.
Is that thing is it a mechanical issue that's keeping us from running that, or?
We need one or two more parts.
Okay.
And then we should have it good to go. All of them are very close. Mm-hmm. Stuff like Omega Race, that's more of that's a monitor issue. Mm-hmm. And it'll be on for 2 or 3 days and then it'll go back down, which is similar to Tempest. There's a few of those games that are just so temperamental.
Or like Interstellar's like that sometimes. It used to be. Now it's
Interstellar's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think whoever opens just misses the switch.
Seth likes to not turn it on. He's like, save that. I don't want that to run.
Yeah. If we've got it, it needs to be running.
Yeah.
If it's gonna fail, it's just gotta fail.
Yep.
We'll fix it or it can't be on the floor.
Yeah.
It's got to be on. I know there are arcades out there that don't turn their stuff on
unless people ask for it or stuff like that.
Yeah. I want it always on. It's like Time Traveler. It's got to be on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they call it an attract mode for a reason. People want to see what it looks like before they play it.
Right.
So how are you going to know if it's off?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they ask how crowded is the vault. We got a question in the stream chat. Is it like a bank vault? It is.
To me, it is.
It's valuable. Yeah.
It's all the value is in that vault. Right now, I have to put stuff in the vault. I've had a stack of boards that needs to go into the vault, and
it's. Who has the key for the vault?
It's combination law.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we're working on right now. We've just got a bunch of the games from our last trip just hanging out in the back room. Still, there's 4 or 5 cabinets that are just upgrades.
Yeah, one of them in particular I'm really looking forward to.
Did we say what that was?
I think we did on the last podcast.
Nemesis?
Yes.
I'll just throw it out there.
Yeah. The dedicated Nemesis looks amazing.
Dedicated Nemesis.
Yeah.
Dedicated Pengo.
Yeah, we let that one slip in the last podcast, but on purpose we let it slip.
On purpose.
Yeah.
It's all very controlled here.
All right. So Steven had the next question about the rankings. We already covered that. He wanted to ask about the achievement list. Are we going to continue that? And if he could get a copy on a PDF that we could just have printed on the webpage or something?
I actually was working on that yesterday. I should have a new achievement list for the new season, probably off to the printer this week.
Okay.
And we will let people have access to the PDF of it.
And they can print it at home and bring it in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. And then number 4, I think it looks like a suggestion. Games that could be added to the arcade floor on switchers. FHMC, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Faster, harder, more challenging Cubert.
Yeah.
Or Cubert Cubes.
To the Cubert cab, okay. There's a couple I can think of. What could be added to the arcade and switchers?
And that's another one that we've been working on. We have a dilemma with Russian Attack.
Yeah.
I've managed to pick up, I think I picked up 2 Konami cabinets and a Century cabinet. The Century cabinet is full everything for Russian Attack.
Okay.
Single player. Looks really nice. I have new Russian Attack side art.
I saw it, yeah.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
But then we have MIA. And I told Seth originally we had picked up just a standard Konami cabinet. Side art was all real beat up. It was
the one that's
Super Contra, yeah.
That broke my heart to see Super Contra beat up like that.
Super Contra, a lot of people carved those guys up and keyed those guys. And
why? I love the live actors on the side of the Konami cabinets.
Konami was...
I love it. It's so cheesy.
You know, I was doing the marquee. I was going to do a 2-in-1 for Russian Attack and MIA.
Yeah.
And I got to the MIA flyer. Can you pull up a picture of the flyer for MIA?
The one flyer with I think I know which one you're talking about.
It's
Is it the one with the girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's it's
I sent it to you actually.
I didn't know. Konami, they've made some interesting choices.
The Vendetta one's awesome.
They had that Project Spy game, Project Y. That is another interesting piece of artwork.
Here it is. Where is this?
But so yeah, I had talked to Seth and told him, yeah, let's do a 2-in-1 on this Super Contra cabinet. At least it's Konami cabinet, and we'll have Russian Attack and MIA in one cabinet. And now I'm kind of going back and forth between should we put Russian Attack in?
I love Konami's advertisements. Always the live actors.
Those
the guy getting rescued. Like, is there like a skeleton hand like down
at the skeleton down at the bottom, and those 2 guys? I don't know.
This guy looks a little too happy to be in prison, I think.
And then the best is the marquee. If you look up the MIA marquee.
What's that one? I don't remember that one.
That's again just whoever was doing Konami's art. Oh, it was their side art. That's the side art for. I believe there's only a.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's the same guys.
I drag this over here. I cannot. Okay.
Some sort of gym coach being the hero.
Oh man, that's good.
That's
Is the skeleton hand still down there?
Coach is here. He saved us.
Yeah. That's. Whoa. Oh man, that's pretty bad, but good at the same time.
Anyways, so yeah, we were trying to decide whether to put Russian Attack in an MIA in a 2-in-1 or each get their own cabinets. We'll have to see. But definitely want to get Russian Attack back on the floor soon too.
Yeah, I wanna play it with the new sticks. Like I'm still interested in that game. Like I don't necessarily have to play it for score. Like I still enjoy it. So
that brought up an interesting point for me.
yeah.
Our original cabinet was actually it was an Asteroids cabinet converted into Russian Attack, and we had put an IL stick and cherry micro switches for the buttons and everything.
Yep.
And the original game ran on leaf switches.
Leaf switches and like the push button was like a big throw. Like it was. I don't know. It felt like it takes a while to activate or something. I don't know.
It's they're switches still.
It's a leaf
like
switch
they're
button?
leaf switch buttons.
Okay.
So, that's kind of one of those things that I think should be tracked. Like I think just due to the weight of the buttons and the responsiveness of leaf versus micro switches, to me I think that stuff should be tracked. Not to create a separate setting, but I think that stuff is interesting.
Should be noted,
and should be noted.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, because it's going to change at least a little bit how the game's going to play. Like, if I can find the diagonal easier on a micro switch joystick, it's going to give me a slight advantage over someone playing on a leaf.
Sure.
So
sure.
I wonder if I'm going to be able to play the game as well, given this new cabinet, even though that's the original cabinet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be rusty originally, but even if I get back into it, I don't know if I'll be able to play to the same level.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting experiment to see how you do on the original hardware.
Yeah. For sure.
So,
let me go back to Facebook here.
just a reminder to everybody, it's we have our NARC event coming up on December 12th, which is a Saturday. There's another one of our Developers Day events. So far, we have
It's an all-star cast.
It is an all-star cast for sure. Eugene Jarvis, George Petro, Larry DeMar, Steve Ritchie said he'd be hopefully stopping out.
Cool. Voice of Shao Kahn.
The voice of Shao Kahn, yes.
Voice.
Who else? Brian Colin said he might make it out as well. Jeff Lee said he might make it out as well.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Todd Allen.
Where do I know his name from?
Todd had worked on the Mortal Kombat a little bit, and he also worked on the Grid.
Oh,
he was the one that generously donated us
the prototype,
the development kit.
The development kit, yeah.
And sold us the prototype.
Yeah.
So, very awesome. Like, anxious to get him out here, and always a fun time when he's here. So,
cool. All right. So that was the last of Steven's questions. Tim Foley says, in the past, Doc and staff have put on informative tech workshops on arcade game repair. I understand with the current space limitations, it may be unreasonable to host a repair workshop, but would there be any interest on the tech side of things to record stream repairs to provide what might be helpful information to collectors? And also he says, thanks for the QDs, quick disconnects, and switches.
Oh, no problem, Tim. Yeah, we really want to do more of that. That's something that we find that's really fun. I know with Seth here now.
Just strap a GoPro on Seth.
Yeah.
We'll have a live stream.
Like, it's something that we think is really important, and we want to keep doing it. We've been kind of, with some of the arcades that we've been working with, we've been meeting with them early in the morning and giving them rundowns of how stuff works and how to fix things and how to diagnose stuff. So that's been. Maybe we could videotape some of that.
Or stream.
Or stream it.
Yeah,
We definitely do want to keep doing that
Mhm.
because it is a lot of fun and it is, I think, pretty important. So we will keep that in mind. We do want to have like an actual class again, like we were doing for a while. Like we were doing those pretty regularly.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that we just haven't been able to, like a lot of yearly things that we haven't done, like trivia night, like some of our tournaments. Like we're behind the ball on a lot of things because we're waiting for expansion to be done. So once we get that done, we can do more. We can probably do tournaments still. Do we have another next tournament picked out? That reminds me, I was going to ask you that.
I've got a few ideas right now. Just as far as events, just gearing up for the NARC event.
Mm-hmm.
We've got that on the 12th. On the 5th and 6th, we have the New Jersey GamerCon, njgamercon.com, if anybody wants to check that out. Everybody on productions has been working ridiculously hard to get Dark Presence ready for this show.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. We've got Jeremiah's going with Brandon and Will.
Cool.
And we're going to let people try Dark Presence out in New Jersey.
Get some live feedback.
We will get some live feedback. I know.
Are you allowing people to record video of the game?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know before games come out, I used to work at GameStop and they had prototypes of Mortal Kombat 9 before it came out when I was working there. They're like, don't record this. This is a prototype. We can't let this out. So I don't know if you're going to be secretive about it.
Usually, I think there's some video that's made its way out from the last MGC.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
Assuming everything is running smoothly.
Cool. Can't let any
yeah,
bad things out there.
Yeah, we're still in development and it's looking really awesome. I was looking at some of the stuff that Will was doing, and it's so hard to do a game with live actors. We were going through, and one of the big issues was the way the characters. Every animation has to start in a basic stance, and then you do the move, and you have to line up in your basic stance at the end.
Right.
And there's just some that it's like you're not going to do this move and have it line up properly. And we have a video that we're going to be posting soon that Will did, and it's him taking video frames and creating and smoothing out the animation.
Cool.
So there's no pop.
Yeah.
And it's like one of our guys, Lumbo, would fall on the ground and then he would have to get up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not easy to just do it all in one take. So he had to fall, and then he'd usually hurt himself, and then he would have to readjust, and he would just be lined up different.
Okay.
So
can't really do a somersault and get up from
right. So Will's recreating all these frames that don't exist, and just unbelievable. And the production guys are so dedicated to making this game just awesome. And huge shout outs to them.
Yep.
Will, Brandon, Phil,
Edge,
Sam.
Yep.
Our newest member, Steve.
Yep.
So
cool.
Shout outs to them.
Awesome. So that was the last of Tim Foley's questions. And John Munkus.
Munkus of...
shout outs to John Munkus. Heck of a flicky player.
Yes.
He just was saying Thanksgiving vodcast. It looks like there was no question. He said, "Whoops, this is for 18 hours ago." So he gets a shout out anyway. That's all we had for Facebook questions.
And speaking of Thanksgiving, we will be open.
Everyone always asks. Yeah. That's
tomorrow. We are open tomorrow. We are open Thanksgiving.
365.
Every holiday we will be here.
Yep.
And I tell this story every year that originally when we were opening up, people were outraged that we were going to have people working on Thanksgiving. And growing up, that was always my big thing. It was my brother, my dad would go to the arcade every Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
It was such an awesome time. And there's people that, it just got me thinking. It was there's people that don't have families or aren't by their loved ones and stuff. And
Yeah.
This will be their family, their
Right.
extended family, and gives them a place to go and have fun. And
For sure.
like that's why we always want to be there for people.
What is nuclear war?
We'll be nuclear war comes. Our doors are open.
Yeah, we have we have protective coating from bomb blasts.
Yeah. We've had so much monitor radiation. We'll be fine.
We'll take it. So yeah, regular hours 1 p.m. to 2 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
So it's Thursday. So yeah, cool.
I don't believe they are running.
No Ghost Battle Series tomorrow.
No Ghost Battle Series tomorrow.
So if you're an MK player, don't show up for Mortal Kombat.
You want to fight on the cabinet?
You will be denied.
Cabinet's here.
Cabinet is here. You can do that. You gotta play on stick though. You can't plug in a pad.
That is true.
Yep. All right. Any other topics? I think that was about all we had from Facebook and scoring wise. A couple of podcasts ago, I forgot to mention Tanner Folken's his kill screen.
Yes.
So I wanted to give him a big shout out because it was a huge accomplishment. He traveled out, drove out, and put up the kill screen here, which is the first one we've ever had done here, right? On our Donkey Kong.
On Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Chris Teeter did
Junior.
kill screen on Donkey Kong Jr.
Okay, so that was the first one on the original Donkey Kong. And so we wanted to give him a nice shout out and
Yes,
congratulations
absolutely.
for his great score too. It was 914 some thousand.
I was really hoping to be here for that.
Yeah.
I was so sick that day.
Yeah.
And I went home early, and going home I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss our first kill screen here.
Yep.
So
It's on our YouTube if you want to check
yes.
it out. It's kind of a cool moment.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
You can just watch the very end. The whole game takes more than a couple hours, so.
So yeah, definitely huge shout outs to him.
Yep. Cool. Any other players or events or any cabinet upgrades? That covers everything, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Any questions from the stream? Anyone got anything for us? We can wait a minute here to see if anyone has any ideas.
Yeah, let us know anything, as always, like what do you want to see, what other games should we be getting. Oh, we did just on Saturday pick up Initial D.
That was 482. That's why I said 482.
I think, well, there was something that went off the floor.
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay.
So, yeah, Initial D from Sega in 2002.
Mm-hmm. It's the first version, right?
The original Initial D.
Okay.
Seth and I were working on getting it ready. Seth opens up the coin door. Coin reader reads only 106 plays on the machine.
It's crazy.
Just barely used.
Yeah.
It also had 3 unopened boxes.
Full decks.
3 full boxes
Yeah.
of player cards. The cleaning cards were all in there.
Do you know, is our card reader working?
Not yet.
Okay.
Seth was going to look at that. He just hasn't yet.
Because I know people just wanted to play it, so we wanted to get it on the floor first, but we're going to get to the card reader when we can, I guess.
Absolutely.
Just want to make sure people can play it first. So it is available for people to play now.
It
so
is.
If you head back by all the other racing games back there, by Cruising World and by Crazy Taxi, you'll see it there.
Yes.
All right.
Great game. Huge shout outs to Eddie for helping me get it off the truck. It was snowing. It was
Saturday, that's right, yeah.
It was unpleasant.
Yeah, it was an unpleasant day in general.
Yeah.
Break some news, maybe. Is there any other news?
Break some news?
Like breaking news? Anything,
I don't know.
Any nothing that we can spill the beans on? Did we already tell them about everything back there? Is it all common knowledge?
Everything? No, not everything back there.
All right.
It's common knowledge.
Okay. Give me a shout out for being awesome. All right, Galloping Ghost Arcade, you're awesome. I like working at you.
Here's 2 things. We went out. We had a. Let's see. I believe it is the first week of the new year. There will be at Burger Antics, the hamburger place.
It's on Grand.
On Grand.
Yep.
In the center of Brookfield. There will be a Galloping Ghost hamburger.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
How crazy is that?
Now, is it called Ghost because it's Ghost Pepper Burger?
I forget off the top of my head what's on it.
If it's ghost pepper, it might be kind of spicy for me. That would make sense, though. Like
That was one of the options. I don't
Yeah.
remember which one we went with. But it's going to be cool. You're going to be able to get a Galloping Ghost hamburger. And
That's awesome.
they set it up. They also will be donating $1 from every burger towards our fundraiser.
Every burger sold?
Every burger sold will
That's
be
awesome.
generating $1 to go towards the expansion and the fundraiser.
That's
So,
awesome.
hugely generous of Burger
Yeah.
Antics.
Shout outs
So,
to Burger Antics for that.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Thank you, Burger Antics.
Will there ever be a place at GGA for EM games? Electro?
Yeah, EM games.
What's it actually? Electromagnetic?
Electromechanical.
Mechanical. Electromagnetic. I thought it was like Magneto floating around in the arcade.
No, he'd mess with our monitors too much.
That's true.
EM games. We had Sea Devil at one point.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I have an appreciation for those games, but I'm just not into them that much.
Personally, you mean?
Yeah, personally.
Okay.
And they're usually such heavy maintenance.
Big. And they're big too, right?
They're big.
Yeah.
They don't. I don't know. Like I like seeing them. I wouldn't want to have to make sure they all keep running. So, I don't foresee there ever being a lot of EMs here.
That sounds like a big maybe.
I don't ever like to say no, but it's just not what I'm into.
Okay.
Like, there's even like with pinball and stuff, it's huge maintenance, huge cost, and I love pinball, but I'm so selective on the games that I want to play.
Yeah.
And what I think will do well here. So, I don't know.
Okay.
It's unlikely that we will be seeing. Just that's not my focus.
Okay. Cool. All right. That's about all I have.
As far as breaking news, we did the hamburger.
A hint.
A hint?
A hint about to guess what's coming.
A guess of what's
Maybe the company of a game that's back there.
There's some Capcom games. There's some Konami games coming.
Yeah. There's also a board we bought on a certain forum that is not on the floor yet that I think the Schmuppers will really enjoy.
There are so many good shmup games that we have.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I know the one that you're referring to.
Yes.
I think there's one that the Shmups players will be enjoying even more than that.
More than that?
More than that.
I don't know about that.
Oh, and a new episode of Shmuppin' came out today.
Yeah, shout outs to Fred DeHart and Jamie Tibbetts.
Former Gamer of the Year, Fred DeHart.
Yes, you can't forget that.
No, you can't.
Cannot forget to say that.
I watched it already.
Yeah, I want to take a look. But,
It's on 19XX.
Yeah.
Very good episode. All a very high production value to the episode.
Yeah, I like their production value. I like their
Yeah.
intro song is very cool. So check them out if you haven't already. I'm gonna put the link in the stream chat here. Shmuppin' with JT and the Hambone is the name of their series.
Yes.
All right. Oops, it started playing. All right. So if you click that link, I assure you it's not going to rickroll you. It will go to Shmuppin' with JT and the Hambone.
One cab home now.
Keep bumping into. I think it's one of the big guys. Yeah, we can't say those until we have space.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some cabinets that I know will cause pandemonium once we people know that we have them. So we'll hold off on some of those. Several of our cabinets from Japan
Yeah.
are going to be
I've
of
had
high interest amongst people.
for sure. A lot of the Schmuppers I think will be interested. But I had one thing I did remember. A lot of people have been asking if we're going to do a custom cabinet for Street Fighter V. And how do you feel about that? It's a console-only game, PS4 only, no arcade release.
Yeah. I've been
Or is it only? Yeah, it's only PS4. Right?
It is only PS4.
Yeah.
I've been having some. I don't know. I've been thinking so much about the console-only cabinets, and I really have a lot of fun making those and doing the artwork for them. But for each one of those, it's
like we can't put a real arcade on the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
like
taking away from the real arcade games, and then you can play it at home.
Right.
What it comes down to. I know it's hard to say, but when a customer comes in, like, go play that at home, is you don't want to say that to a customer, but
right. Like I've so often
yeah.
I see people on MKX. That's cool. That's great. I like that they're enjoying the cabinet, and it's giving the new MK
giving them exposure.
It gives them exposure,
Yeah.
but it's also that feel of how it was in the arcades with something new.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, while they're playing that, they're not playing Mortal Kombat 1 or MK2 or Primal Rage 2.
Which is the only place you can play it.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to take away from these great games you could play with these other ones you can play at home.
Right.
Yeah. I understand that dilemma.
There's been days where, like, all of our other cabinets, we originally did Tekken and Virtua Fighter, and
we had a Blaze Blue cabinet.
we had a Blaze Blue and
Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Marvel Capcom 3 and
What was the other one? KI.
KI
Yeah.
and Injustice, and
Yeah.
we've done I didn't even realize how many of those that we've done.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. I'm wondering if we're like the casuals are playing them. The pro scene isn't playing them because they don't like playing on stick.
Or they want to play on their stick. If they're going to play on stick, or else they want to play on a pad.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of like I cannot wait for Street Fighter V. But I don't know if I want to like put it on the floor.
Right.
Like half of me really does, and half of me is like.
So are we going to support the tournament scene for that with our
We
new area?
really, really want to support the tournament scene.
So
I am super excited to see Street Fighter being played at a top level here. I want there to be a Street Fighter V team.
Team GGA Street Fighter V edition.
Yes. That is what
Nice.
I want, and that is what I want to move and work towards, and I think that'll be incredible.
Cool.
We will have the space to support the Capcom scene as soon as our tournament area is up and running. But a cabinet for it, I don't know. Like, Capcom didn't deem it worthy to get a cabinet,
Right.
and that's super unfortunate. But I don't know. Like,
Cool. My other question, I know a couple people are interested in Sky Cursor. Is there any updates on that?
yes, we have a Sky Cursor.
En route.
It's on the way.
Nice.
Might not be here until early next year. We're trying to plan an event for them. I am so excited to have that here.
Me too.
That, just as Capcom is not... I'm so upset that Capcom did not do a Street Fighter for the arcade.
Yeah.
And the Sky Cursor guys putting out a game, and you have to go to the arcade to play it.
Yeah.
It's
it's only available as JAMA.
It is.
Or their own airframe is their
Airframe is there.
is their platform.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's... If only more companies were doing that.
Yeah.
Like, that is...
That would get people to go back to the arcades more, I think.
It really is. I said
Yeah.
it before. It's exactly what arcades need. Just because if you can get stuff on your phone or you can get it on console, like, people are gonna go play it there. But it's exactly how the arcades were.
Right. Yeah, and that's what brings people out and gets them talking about it.
Yeah.
All together. So.
And
that's
playing
awesome.
it at MGC, it's a fun game. Our guys were totally into, like, the Schmuppen guys were playing it and playing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, Jamie was talking a lot about it. Like, I didn't know he played it. I missed MGC this year because I had to work, but I really wish I would have seen that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you will have it here soon enough.
Nice. Get my hands on it.
Yeah.
We had a question in the stream chat asking about how we came up with the arcade logo. Is that anything you can get into?
Sure.
All right.
The original concept for the logo was off of my brother was actually writing. My parents or my mother worked in an office where they transcribed stuff, and my brother was transcribing a book for a World War II veteran.
Okay.
And they were showing a bunch of the planes, and he had all these pictures, and there was something similar on one of the planes.
Okay.
And I thought the logo, like, he had redrawn it, and then I took it and I redrew it a bunch and made a bunch of changes to it, and that's where it started, and it's been changed up and evolved. And
so you made the logo long before there was an arcade or productions company?
Yeah, about 2 years. I had a picture of it with me.
Yeah.
Geez, I had to be 13 years old. Wow. When I saw the inspiration for it.
Cool.
And was walking around with it in my wallet. And just one day, I was 15. I was about to go into work at Babges. I was because I was homeschooled. I started working there when I was 15.
Nice.
And I went in to go. I was like, I'm gonna go get this. I'm gonna go get a tattoo of this thing.
Yeah.
And me and my dad went, and I got a tattoo of it. And then a week later, I was talking with this guy from Razorsoft, who made Death Duel and Techno Cop, and we were talking about game design, and I talked to him a bunch back then, and he was basically like, "Oh, he's like, do you have a company?"
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of like, it caught me off guard, because he's like, "Oh, your game concepts," and like, "Do you work in the industry?" I'm 15.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, well, Galloping Ghost Productions, yeah. And that was the start of the production company. It was just kind of this conversation with an employee from Razorsoft.
Cool.
And
it's a good story.
Became the logo once we were doing Dark Presence, and then when we did the arcade, like, had already had such a fan base from the production side.
Right. People knew the logo by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cool.
And now it's great to see. You go outside, and you always see people taking pictures of it.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome that people want to pose in front of that.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the big things with it's instantly recognizable.
Yeah.
I think it's
like if you go to a tournament and you see that ghost, there's going to be a serious Mortal Kombat player
absolutely
in front of you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or Smash Brothers, right?
Or
now.
Smash Brothers. A huge shout out to our Smash players. They were on.
They did awesome at their last tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a video on Kotaku.
Yep.
Right
The close
now.
calls.
The closest calls in Smash.
Yep. I'll link that too in the stream chat, so you guys can check that out. If you're interested in Smash Brothers at all, a couple of our Smash players are featured in this article.
Yes.
There's a video in that article, right? That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're the third.
Cool.
The third one.
Cool.
Question. Is Dark Presence going to be JAMA? Currently, it is not. But by the time we might install a JAMA interface, we have to see. Easy enough, but
okay. There was one other thing I was going to ask you, but I can't remember it now. Oh, I was going to ask, what are you playing? The question you always ask me.
I'm anxious to get back on Assault.
I kind of figured, yeah.
I wanna play some Alien Syndrome.
Cool. Take the house high. Snatch it from James.
Meh. I just want to play it for, like,
just
if
for
I
fun.
get a score. I'm not shooting for the high score on that.
Cool.
I'll play some more Creature Pinball too.
Cool.
And I played one or two games of Hammered Away. I played one game today of Hammer Away.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get back on that, and but I don't know if I'll be able to play that today. So
Okay.
maybe tomorrow.
Cool.
But the rest of my time's on Assault and Narc. I gotta brush up on my Narc skills.
Narc.
What about you? What are you playing?
I've been interested in Crime City lately.
Great game.
Like I
Very underrated game.
yeah, and it's like it's just sitting there like unassumingly like in the shmup room. It's like it kind of just blended in to the background like the whole time. And I was watching a stream over the weekend. 1cc Marathon was on. They have their own dedicated Twitch channel, but it's a bunch of pros that were streaming one credit clears of games, and that was one game that people might know him as BBH. Matt Hall is his real name, but he's a pro. He does speed runs and one credit clears. He's got a YouTube channel, but the game really caught my eye. It looks really interesting. It's a classic run and gun, but it's like '89. I think it came out by Taito, and it looks like a lot of fun. So I've been playing a little bit. I'm not that far into it yet. I'm only getting to the second stage. So
yeah,
but I don't know. It's really interesting and it's something new and different for me. So I'm gonna try it.
Cool.
Yep. Other than that, like I've just been playing. Like I've been going down the row of the Capcom games, like Vampire Savior. Then I went to Vampire Savior 2. Then I went to X-Men. Then I went to Marvel Superheroes. Then I went to Marvel vs. Capcom. And now I have one more game left in that row that I want to play and put a score in. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, and then I'll probably stop that project. But yeah, I just went down the row there and kind of just started put in whatever score I could. I had a couple world records in there and a couple were house highs. So
cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And that's about it for me.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Until after this show, I'm having to pull back from playing as much. But when I get back, there's
some cards are gonna come down.
I'm just looking to play. I'm just looking to play.
You're not gonna make any bold statements about trifectas.
I just had one.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, I would. You know what? I'm anxious to play. Seth has to do some monitor work on it, but Crackdown.
Yeah.
I am anxious to play some Crackdown.
Cool.
Sega,
right?
Yeah.
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 You're a Sega guy. That's right.
Me and Danielle had played a game of it right before the monitor went down, and just anxious to get back on it.
Ghost. That's what you said about Freeze. What is that in reference to? The score being safe. Rap sheet is Stephen Lucas.
Yeah.
So he's like, so his score for Hammer Away might be safe. Maybe. Who knows? You might have inspired other people to look at it. I might have played a game of it the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm not good at it though. You don't have to worry. Not for me at least. You don't have to worry. I'm no good at vertical shmups. But yeah, that's all I had.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up with that. Thanks everybody for joining us for this live podcast.
Yeah. So
I'm
maybe
Doc
next time.
Mack, and thanks. This is Pete Hahn, and we will hopefully see you around the arcade soon. And everybody have a safe and fun Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
See ya.